asking for that team to move way ahead of the market and say, we're going to lock in with Derek Carr as our quarterback on Valentine's Day. And then you look at what else is going to be out there. Well, for the Raiders or the Niners, it could be Tom Brady. But then you look at some of the other names out there: Jimmy Garoppolo, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. The other thing that complicates it, too, is the no trade clause. Like, he doesn't have to go anywhere that he doesn't want to go. So I just think that there's a very real scenario where we get to Super Bowl Sunday and, with all of our reporting on the morning of that game, we're all talking about Derek Carr potentially getting cut within the next 72 hours.
So let's play start the car or park the car. Which spots feel like he should take? I would say let's start with it, okay?
Yeah, I like these car graphics we have. I think the audience is going to love it. Let's start with, should Derek Carr start for the Miami Dolphins next year?
I would go for it. Also, I think he has a no-trade clause. He can say no. To me, this is the best place to go. 2 superstar speed receivers, warm weather. He doesn't have a huge arm, and a brilliant offensive coach. This is the place for him. To me, this and the Jets work. Start the car.
So we move off to it. Interesting. All right, should Derek Carr start for the New Orleans Saints down in the Bayou?
Yeah, they've had 5 quarterbacks last 2 years. Excellent defense. Don't love the coach, but that's one of those, if Dennis Allen survives, you have good ownership, great GM Mickey Loomis, really good front office. There's weapons here.
Good young receiver in Olave.
Winnable division. Brady's probably jettisons the division. That's an interesting one.
It's a good one. Should Derek Carr start for the Indianapolis Colts?
Instability. The owner now is, let's be honest, it feels like the owner is now running it. That's Carr parked. I'm not taking that. Listen, he has a no trade clause. There's too much instability. I'm out.
Yeah. We all should have no trade clauses, right?
Wouldn't
It's
that be
a
great?
genius strategy.
Yeah.
Should Derek Carr start for the Houston Texans?
Park it. 4 coaches, 3 years, total instability. Viewed as one of the weaker front offices. Now they're trying to correct some things. They've moved off some people. Jack Easterby was highly criticized, but I'd park the car.
All right, let's go. This one is interesting. I hadn't thought of it until right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Derek Carr.
Again, warm weather.
The taxes. Don't forget about the taxes.
Well,
Everybody loves to bring that up.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, a very capable. Now, they're going to lose some free agents on defense.
Yeah.
But I will say this front office has really drafted well. I mean, they've really drafted well. They also had an incredible amount of injuries, so the O-line next year is much better than it's perceived today. So I think that's an interesting
Is
one.
Byron Leftwich a big question mark for you?
I don't know. I think for Derek, he has a no-trade clause.
Yeah.
For Derek to say, I'll come, I want an offensive coach.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the Carolina Panthers. Should Derek Carr start there?
Park it. Too much instability. You don't know who the coach is. I do like a couple of their weapons.
DJ Moore.
Woo. I just think if I'm going to go to that division, I like Tampa's momentum. I like Tampa's got more stability. I think in the front office, I'm going to go with Tampa.
Okay. Should Derek Carr start for the Tennessee Titans and your guy, Vrabel?
I think it's interesting. I don't know if the Titans want him, and I don't know if they do. I will say that, because they may just look at him and say, we've got Tannehill, Carr, same guy. I think Mike Vrabel's a top 5 coach in the league. Excellent defense. O-lines, I don't know where the O-line's ranked. Derrick Henry, mostly warm weather. Now,
Treylon Burks, the young receiver, he's talented. He's young.
They have to go get another receiver, but it is a wonky division. You got Jacksonville surging. Indy's a mess right now. Houston's a mess. So that's an interesting one.
Okay, New England Patriots, Derek Carr.
Park it. Don't have receivers. It's a defensive culture. No thanks.
All right, we've only got time for 2 more. Derek Carr and the Washington Commanders.
No. Park it. 11 different starting quarterbacks since Kirk Cousins left. Complete instability. Don't have the right coach for a quarterback.
Let's end on a high note. Should Derek Carr start for the New York Jets?
I like the roster.
Yeah, there it is.
Just get a left tackle with your first 2 picks. I think Miami and the Jets are very interesting.
Breece Hall, Garrett
Again,
Wilson.
He is available. He's a veteran. Now, a lot of people think New York will chew him up. I don't know. I think Derek's tougher than people give him credit
He's
for.
a nice guy. He's a really nice. Doesn't say bad words.
You know what? Eli Manning's a nice guy. New York loved him. Derek Jeter's a nice guy. New York loved Derek Jeter. New York's not that tough. Win games, New York loves you. Hour 3 next.
At Domino's, next time you order 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each, you could be in for a shock.
Bridgewater suffered some kind of broken finger. Sounds like he's not going to be the guy, and it's looking like Skylar Thompson.
I'm going to take him still.
You're going to take the Dolphins this weekend?
Oh, yeah, I think it's close and low. I think it's like I think it's 14-13. Who do you like? I like the Dolphins close.
I always like the Jets. No pressure
picked them. I picked Miami to get in as a wild card with about 9 wins, 10 wins. So I'm going to go with it.
So you're hoping you're rooting for your earlier bet.
I think this offense does not need a playmaker. Skylar Thompson for a Sunday. Is it Sunday? Yeah, can win a game.
So here's what Mike McDaniel said about the quarterback situation.
I haven't thought about playing status. It is about him getting healthy each and every day, and so I can't really even factor him into any sort of equation and until we're ready to broach that, So it's just really a situation of, at this point in the week, Monday and Tuesday in game prep, I'll be preparing for both Skylar and Teddy, and then proceed as the week progresses.
Boy, tough stretch for McDaniel. 5 weeks ago.
Well, last week
Tua was like an MVP. McDaniel was maybe coach of the year.
Well, I think they were missing. Did you look at the injury report?
5 or 6 guys on the starting
top
lineup,
guys. So last week they just didn't have enough players. Good players.
Yeah. Jets smacked the Dolphins around in their last meeting.
I don't remember that.
And they faced Skylar Thompson. It was like 40-17.
Okay.
Bridgewater got hurt on the first play. Final story. Many thought the Chiefs would take a step back without Tyreek Hill this season, but Patrick Mahomes, he's been MVP worthy. His MVP odds are soaring, Colin. A league-leading 5,048 passing yards, 40 TDs. Chiefs are currently the number 1 seed in the AFC. NFL best 417 yards per game, 29 points per game. 1 week to go. Looking ahead to the Super Bowl, Fox Bet makes the Chiefs the favorite to win it at all, plus 370. Here are the latest Fox Bet Super Bowl odds. No surprise, at the top of the leaderboard, a couple AFC teams in the Chiefs and Bills, followed by Niners, Eagles, Bengals, Cowboys. That looks, oddly enough, like your Super Bowl bubble, Colin. I think that's exactly your top 5 are who's in your bubble.
It is interesting. Cincinnati never quite gets the respect.
They don't. By the way, I know it was only one drive, but damn, did they look good against the Bills on Monday Night Football. They just went right down the field. I mean,
they don't make a lot of noise. They're in the Midwest. They're not as flashy as Buffalo. They're certainly not Kansas City. They don't have the roster of San Francisco. Nobody respects it. Cincinnati is really, really good. If I said to you, Cincinnati, like every team has a hole. Like Kansas City, sometimes defensively they lack. Buffalo offensive line, Niners quarterback, Philadelphia now O-line right tackle.
Major injuries to
Dallas, kind of a complimentary piece at quarterback, could use another receiver. If I said Cincinnati, what's the hole? They could probably use another corner, maybe.
I think their top cornerback went down.
They need.
I'll tell you right now, I like their defense over the Chiefs' defense.
Oh yes,
I mean, and
absolutely.
The Bengals DC is calling much better second halves than Spagnuolo and KC. Listen, I think I like Chiefs Niners in the Super Bowl. Are you with me or no?
I like Cincinnati Niners. I don't know.
I don't
like
hate that. Plus 750.
I like them.
You put a couple $100 down on that, Cowherd? Maybe buy us a dinner? Maybe use your superpowers to buy me a meal sometime? Jeez.
J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
As a small business owner, or let's say hiring manager, success this year depends on this offense does not need a playmaker. They need a distributor who's durable. And I said, Kirk Cousins, roll your eyes, but Minnesota needs draft capital. Minnesota has hit a wall. Derek Carr. Derek Carr is available. He's played behind some bad O-lines, and you start looking at it and you go, oh, I don't know. But I look at this offense, and I look at San Francisco's. They don't need Josh Allen. That's not what they do. They have 5 first-round players. And by the way, all those SEC teams, LSU, Georgia, Bama, they got another 5 that are sophomores. So they got 10 guys who will be first-rounders in a 2-year period. Michigan will have 2. An 8 pro disadvantage. Ohio State is the best northern program in the country. They also have to go to Texas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, get some of their players. They average about 2.5 first-round picks. So when you hear about Jim Harbaugh, why would you leave? It's all numbers. Same reason Brian Kelly did. It's just data. If you really want to win a national championship, it is hard not to do it. Even the football factory, Ohio State, is. They've got one national championship in what, 17, 18, 19 years? 2014. There you go. All right, so Albert Breer was on earlier talking about Derek Carr. So he said somebody's going to have to make a decision very quick on Derek Carr. Where does Derek Carr? So I think he's worth a second-round pick. And Albert Breer argues